Monday is road trip time. Taking some cows to have embryos put in. They're actually not mine, they're for a friend. So we're taking 5 cows, and I think they're calves, over to Eggersman's near Brownstown, Indiana, and drop those off and then pick them up in a few weeks. So that's the early morning schedule for tomorrow. Here in the last few days in Indiana, we have had a lot of rain, and it's kind of nice to live on some kind of sloping ground that things have dried up quite a bit today, with the sun shining and the wind blowing. And I know we have more rain coming, so we'll see how the ground holds up. I noticed with the temperatures, we've got some green grass growing, and that's always a good sign, because I think I'm down to about my last 30 bales of hay, so I hope that finishes me up. Supper time for a couple calves. Good mommies allowing their calves to nurse. Don't have very many white ones since I'm kind of an Angus breeder, but I always have a few of these commercial cows around to raise some clubbies with. Well, today it starts the AI breeding season here at the farm. I watched some of these other ranch videos from South Dakota and just watch them work cattle, and it's just kind of interesting to see how well they gather their cattle. And I'll tell you what, I think this is almost a minor miracle this morning that my cattle went right where they were supposed to. I can't really explain that, but they did, and I'm very happy about it. So I will start the process of getting them in the chute and get started on my AI work for the year. And these will be January calves. And boy, am I lucky this morning. I can just tell you, for the folks watching, it typically doesn't go this well, but I'm certainly not complaining. Well, I don't know how well you can see this, but I was getting ready to haul hay, and this cow is into labor. She's pretty far along. The water bag's out. I can see at least 1 foot, so I will monitor her, and maybe you can get to see the birth. Again, I don't know how clear this is on my GoPro, but I'll keep watching. We'll see how it goes. Well, we're finally getting to the point where she's laid down and starting to push a little bit, so we're making a little progress. Going to give her about 20 to 30 more minutes, and if she hasn't made much more progress, we'll get her up and get that calf pulled out. Well, she just had it, and it's a good thing I ran out here real quick, because the sack was over its head, and it probably had a struggle trying to breathe, but everything's going to be okay. She's had it kind of in a bad spot next to a little creek, so I'm going to drag it up closer to the fence, and then I'll check on it later. working the White River Valley Feeder Auction Association, so this is my job.
22, 1022.
Catch them and get them into the scales.
23.
Well, here's the process. The cattle are all in and weighed, and we'll start sorting the steers and bulls into pens, and another group will sort heifers. We do have some cows as well, so maybe if I can, I'll try and film some of the sorting process as we go through this. But I do work at this feeder auction. I think they have 2 spring sales. We have about 220 head, I think, of feeders, and probably another 25 maybe cows that will go through the auction ring tonight at 7 o'clock. So this is just a little update of the White River Valley Feeder Auction in Worthington, Indiana. Well, this is March 29th, and this is calf number 22. That's probably 5 minutes old maybe. So there are 3 more to calve. So this is just moving right along with the spring calving. I do have one heifer that's bred for a fall calf, so we'll see how things goes. But this old girl had this calf hanging part way out. We did grab the legs and pull it rest the way out so it wouldn't be under a bunch of stress and stuff. So but you can see active, alive, and it'll be up here shortly. So that's just an update on spring calving. Well, after the storm last night here in Owen County, I guess it'd be considered almost the southern part. This is a big pear tree that uprooted, and it's across my driveway. I'll have to get it taken care of. As we go up here beside the house, it blew off some of the trim, and so I think that'll be the first thing I try and fix this morning before it completely tears off with the wind. It is kind of windy here today. There's another tree back behind the house that's down. I'm gonna have to drive around the farm, and I can see some other trees that just got twisted off. I'll take a quick look at those and see if anything's across the fence. I do see a few cows out in the pasture this morning, so hopefully they're all still in. And lots of damage in Owen County, and probably I may be, the way it seems, I'm still probably going to be one of the better off ones compared to what I've heard at our local state park, McCormick's Creek. There were campers turned over and people trapped last night. It's my understanding they couldn't even get to them because of all the trees down. This is the flooding in my barn. Again, a minor inconvenience that can be fixed. And over there on the far side is the trees, and I don't know you can see them, but I'll get on the gator and go check the fence lines here in just a second. Well, this is some of the damage once daylight hit, and I could get back here and see what was going on. And you can see that's a oak tree that was uprooted. You can see some of them are just twisted off, and all these trees that were down went across my fence line. So I've been out here for hours this morning, working on fence and cutting off trees from the fence. It's been a nightmare, but also having said that, there's some counties that I know have had it a lot worse, and even at McCormick's Creek State Park, I guess, where campers were turned over, but everyone was safe. So this is just one little clip, and I'll move around and show you how trees were twisted off at another part of the property. So this is another bit of the damage that the wind caused last night. You can see how those trees were just twisted off at the top. Fortunately, this was not on any of the fence. Did get kind of the edge of my pond, but I'm not too concerned about it at the present time. There's lots of time to work on stuff like that. I'll pan around and you can see that the cows, fortunately there was no injuries as far as I can tell. All the calves and cows were up. I am going to go down and show you that in the middle of all that mess at some point in time last night, one of the cows calved, and that was calf number 23. So we'll go to that in just a second. So again, that storm hit last night, probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And sometime after that, this old girl, that's her second calf. She calved sometime. Hopefully it wasn't during that storm, but calf's doing fine. I'll have to get it weighed and tagged, and the way it looks like a little heifer calf, a little white spot up there on the forehead. So that's an update of the bad weather in southern Indiana.